Praise the Lord. Didn't he do it?
Amen.
Amen.
Didn't he do it?
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
Left the splendor of heaven. Come and die for you. Praise God. To come and rescue you. Come and deliver you. To come and heal you.
Amen.
Come and save you.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you,
Praise
Jesus.
God. Praise God. Book of 2 Kings, the 6th chapter. We'll start reading at verse 8. Very, very short message tonight. Then the king of Syria warred against Israel, and took counsel with his servants, saying, in such and such a place shall be my camp. And the man of God said unto the king of Israel, saying, beware that thou pass not such a place, for thither the Syrians are come down. And the king of Israel sent to the place which the man of God told him, and warned him of, and saved himself there, not once nor twice. Therefore the heart of the king of Syria was sore troubled for this thing, and he called his servants and said unto them, will ye not show me which of us is for the king of Israel? One of his servants said, none, my lord, O king, but Elisha, the prophet that is in Israel, telleth the king of Israel the words that thou speakest in thy bedchamber. He said, go and spy where he is, that I may send and fetch him. And it was told him, saying, behold, he is in Dothan. Therefore sent he thither horses and chariots and a great host, and they came by night and compassed the city about. And the servant of the man of God was risen early and gone forth. Behold, a host compassed the city, both with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, alas, my master, how shall we do? And he answered, fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them.
Amen.
And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes, that he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. Praise God. Let's praise him one more time. God, we love you. God, we praise you. God, we thank you for your word. We thank you for your spirit. God, anoint us and use us for thy glory. Anoint hearts and ears to receive your word. We'll praise you for it in Jesus' name. Praise God. And you may be seated. Now we find that the king of Syria warred against Israel, and it seemed like that every time they would go against Israel, Israel already knew that they were going to come against them and where they were. Now the king of Syria is wanting to know, how did they find this information out? Where are they getting it from? Who among us is for Israel? And finally one of them said, no, it's not any of us, but it's Elijah the prophet that is in Israel. He tells the king of Israel the words that you speak in your bedchamber. And he said, okay, we'll go take care of him, in other words. We'll go to where he's at, to Dothan, and we'll fetch him. And so they sent horses and chariots and a great host, and they came by night and compassed the city about. And as the servant of the man of God, or the servant of Elisha, got up the next morning, he looked around and he seen he was surrounded all around the city by the enemy. He went into panic mode. Basically, he does like a lot of us sometimes. And he began to cry out to Elisha, Elijah, oh Elisha, you know, what, alas, my master, how shall we do? Elijah calmly answered, fear not, fear not, fear not. For just a little while, I just want to use this thought. God's got this. That's basically what he was telling his servant. Elijah was telling his servant, man, just calm down.
Amen.
Man, just don't panic. God's got this.
Yes,
God's got this. And he began to tell him, he said, fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. And now you got to understand this servant is looking around at the host of the enemy that surrounded him, and then he's looking around, he sees him and Elisha.
Amen.
Huh?
Amen.
And he's thinking, where's all these other people that Elisha is talking about? And finally, Elisha had to pray, Lord, would you just open his eyes? Would you just let him see that you've got this?
Amen.
See, sometimes God has to open our eyes when we find ourselves facing the enemy, or we find ourselves facing a problem, or whatever the case might be, whatever we may be facing.
Amen.
Sometimes God has to slow us down and say, don't panic. Don't panic, just stay calm, I've got this. So God opened the eyes of the servant, and he looked around. He began to realize what Elijah had told him was truth. There was more in those hills and in those chariots of fire than the enemy that surrounded them.
Right.
See, the Bible tells us in Romans 8:31, it says this: what shall we then say to these things? If God be for us, who can be against us?
Amen.
If God be for us, who can be against us? And I'm going to tell you, if you're a child of God, then God's for you.
Amen.
And if God be for you, who can be against you? See, we get tore up too easily. Huh?
Amen.
We get, just stay. I've been accused of staying too calm sometimes. If everybody jumping up, running around, do something, just calm down a minute. God's got this. Just calm down. And He does. He does when we realize that if God be for us, who can be against us? Psalms 34:7 says this: the angel of the Lord encampeth round about them that fear Him, and delivereth them.
Amen.
That's what they were doing in that hill, those hills around that city after the enemy came against Elisha. God just filled the hills up around them with His angels. Huh? The angel of the Lord encampeth about them that fear Him. In other words, those that fear God, the angels, they're out there. Looking out for us. One place said they're standing looking at the face of God. Waiting to get orders. The only thing I can figure, waiting to get orders. Get direction from God. Look at this. 1 John 4:4. Ye are of God, little children, and have overcome them. That basically, if you go back, it's talking about the spirit of Antichrist or the world. You are of God, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is He that is in you than he that is in the world. See, sometimes God has to remind us again and show us again that He's on our side, that He's for us. Because greater is He that is in you than he that's in the world. Yet, but we still panic. We still get beside ourselves. We still, sometimes fear still overcomes. We're overcome with fear. We're overcome with worry. We're overcome with doubt. And then God has to remind us, hey, open our eyes a little bit, open our spiritual eyes a little bit, and let us see that God is still for us. If God be for us, who can be against us?
Amen.
And then He reminds us again that greater is He that is in us than he that's in the world. In Mark's Gospel, the 4th chapter, verse 35. And the same day when the evening was come, Jesus said unto them, Let us pass over unto the other side. Now, I'm going to stop here a minute. In something we overlook a lot of times. When Jesus told them, let us pass over to the other side, it was settled right there.
Yes, sir.
Huh? I want you to understand what I'm saying. When Jesus said to them, let us pass over to the other side, it was settled right there.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to pass over to the other side.
Right.
Huh?
Amen.
Because he'd already spoken it. He'd already spoken it. And when they had sent away the multitude, they took even as he was in the ship. There were also with him other little ships. And there arose a great storm of wind, and the waves beat into the ship, so that it was now full. And he was in the hinder part of the ship, asleep on a pillow. Why? Because he had already said, let us pass over to the other side.
Amen.
The word had already been spoken.
Right.
Amen.
That is why you can depend upon this book tonight, because the word has already been spoken.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has.
That's why he was able to go down into the ship and go to sleep, because he had already spoke the word of what was going to happen. Let us pass over to the other side. And there arose a great storm of wind, and the waves beat into the ship, so that it was now full. And he was in the hinder part of the ship, asleep on a pillow. And they awake him and said to him, Master, carest thou not that we perish? What he say? Don't panic.
Mm-hmm.
I've got this.
Yes, sir.
Don't panic. I've got this. And he arose and rebuked the wind and said unto the sea, Peace, be still. And the wind ceased. And there was a great calm. Why? Because he'd already said, let us pass over to the other
Amen.
side.
Yes, sir.
Right.
He said us. He didn't say just him.
Mm-hmm.
He said, let us pass over to the other side. I think one of the other scriptures, if you go to it in one of the other gospels, I think it puts it this way: let's get in the boat and go to the other side. You know, that's what he told them to do. See, if you go back to the ministry of Paul, it was prophesied of him some of the things that would happen to him. But God had already told him, said, Paul, you're going to be a witness for me in Rome.
Amen.
Before he ever got to Rome, he suffered a shipwreck, he suffered a snake bite, several things that he suffered before he ever got to Rome. When he picked up that bottle of sticks and the viper latched onto his hand and he just shook it off into the fire, Paul had already been prophesied to, you're going to be a witness to me in Rome. And because of that prophecy, that snake didn't bother him, because he had already been prophesied to, you're going to be a witness for me in Rome. That's the same way when Jesus told them to get the boat and go to the other side. Right. They should have known right then. They were going to get, didn't matter what the road, they were going to get to the other side.
Yes, sir.
So, look, the wind ceased and there was a great calm. What's the first thing he said? He said unto them, why are you so fearful? I've got this. Why are you so fearful? Why are you so fearful? How is it that you have no faith?
Mm-hmm.
They asked him, Lord, don't you care that we perish? Servant Elisha asked him, Lord, hey, Elisha, what are we going to do?
Mm-hmm.
What are we going to do? Just stay calm. Don't panic. God's got this.
Right.
Amen.
He said, why are ye so fearful? How is it that you have no faith? Have no faith. And they feared exceedingly and said, one to another, what manner of man is this, that even the wind and the sea obey him? Why is it you have no faith? See, because 2 Corinthians 5:7 simply says this, for we walk by faith, not by sight. For we walk by faith and not by sight. Sight to the servant of Elisha, sight to the servant of Elisha was that the enemy was all around him and there was no way out. Sight to the disciples on the ship was that there's a storm raging and we're about to drown. When it ought to have been faith was on the boat with them.
Right. All right. Amen.
And we're going to the other side. We're going to the other side. See, if we're walking by faith and not by sight, everything, because he's already told us, get in the boat and go to the other side. Now, when we walk with him, our goal is to get to the other side. Huh?
Amen.
He doesn't tell us everything we're going to encounter between now and the other side.
Right.
He just said get in the boat and go. So we've got to believe that whatever I encounter between now and the time that the Lord calls me home, He's already took care of it.
Yes, He has. Yes,
He's
He
got
has.
this.
Yes, He has.
Right. He's got this.
Amen.
So quit worrying because you can't add a cubit to your height. Quit worrying because you can't cause your hair to grow back. You know, things like that. He said, you know, that the hair that you have is numbered. He does a lot of subtracting on mine. But the thing of it is God has got it.
Right.
Every situation in your life, God has got this if I walk
Yes,
by
He
faith
has.
and not by sight. Praise God. Praise God. So let's all stand. I want to come back and sing. And I want you to realize God's got this.
Amen.
Quit panicking, quit worrying. Somebody said, I can't help it. I know we're human. Because we all get to that place that we realize, you know, we worry and we fret and we complain and we panic, and God has to just slow us down sometimes and say, hey, wait a minute. I'm still God.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still God, and I still got this. I still got this. It's all in your hands. It's all in His hands. It's all in His hands. Praise God. So whatever you may face tomorrow, remember God's got it. God's got it. Hallelujah. Let's worship. Come on, let's gather around for a closing worship as they sing tonight.